Oh boy, will PayPal and Venmo finally be humble and do something about their beautiful Trustpilot score? Now that Elon Musk is about to launch his version of PayPal inside the X app to expand his moat, or should I say tech tree, by basically becoming a bank and offering high interest accounts to monopolize everything we as humans need. And what does this mean for Twitter users and content creators like me? Let's find out. Elon is of course trying to make X the everything app, and so far they have received payment licenses in 28 states in the US. And of course it's very common for companies to first launch within the US and then expand globally. So probably by the end of this year they have all the licenses within the 50 US states so that they can finally launch. On a side note, I'm not sure if Elon had a non-compete agreement after he left PayPal, but if that was the case, it's for sure expired by now. And he has mentioned offering high yield interest accounts, which is of course a very lucrative way to attract users. But of course it will be difficult to get a lot of users, because why would you use X to make payments if you can already use PayPal, Venmo and the others? And of course the service is very similar to Apple Pay. So as Elon loves tech trees, could we see him developing his phone that he often likes to talk about as well? Another update coming soon for the X platform is of course much more video. They are bringing an app for the TV soon, of course trying to compete with YouTube, and it will also be interesting to see how he will include crypto inside this X payment system, if at all, and how. And of course for people who hold crypto, could we see a big spike? Maybe just only because of the hype that now X, a big platform, uses crypto. And it's also interesting to see why he wants to make X into an everything app, and especially include the payment features. And I think that he indeed really sees a better way, because when you look at PayPal and Venmo, I don't use Venmo myself, but PayPal is an absolute tragedy. At the same time, I also wonder for Elon's brand, if he's not able to do it much better than PayPal, then it could be not great for his personal reputation. But if he's able to make it as big as Amazon's one-click pay option, that would be very interesting. So he was planning to launch everything by the end of this year, but that will probably be only in the US, because the US themselves are quite difficult. And that's not to say about the EU themselves. I mean, look at Apple Intelligence not coming to the EU and everything else they're doing in the EU. Besides that, of course, Elon is not a great friend of many countries and governments, because they have often issues about, well, blocking certain things on X. And it doesn't seem like Elon will use this as a negotiating, because he does not seem flexible in getting back on free speech and blocking certain things, which I think is a very good thing. Uncompromising, that's what he is, and I think this is the only way. So how will this bring money for X? Which of course they're not making money at the moment. Will mainly be fees. And his idea is when you want to pay for something in another app or another website, that X will appear as a payment option, just like PayPal and Venmo. So this is for external things outside of the X app, where they basically integrate. But he doesn't plan to charge users for this, which is interesting, because I believe PayPal for sure charges users depending on the situation. And of course with all his experience at PayPal, it will be very interesting to see how he will basically, well, try to create even better experience than PayPal. But then what are the potential consequences for content creators like me? Well, I've asked Grok, of course, and Grok is telling us that we might see a boost in engagement and revenue. But I'm not so sure about this reason. If you could easily tip your creators, well, of course that happens, but it's not a significant part, and most creators don't ask for tips or even receive them without asking. And I mean, exclusive content is on the rise for sure when you look at Substack, for example, and paid newsletters and so on. Especially the way how that could be, just like on Amazon, very quick with one click on a button. Well, I could see that being significant for a small part of creators. And then you could offer premium content. Well, you can already subscribe to people on X, so that's not an issue, and integrating X into the payment system doesn't really make a difference, I think. And also the whole payments through a social app. For example, on YouTube, you can, well, not pay through YouTube, but you can buy products through YouTube and the integration, the shopping feature. Well, I've never used it myself. I know people use it, but I don't think it's a large percentage. So that could change, of course, but it's definitely difficult to change this user behavior. And for content creators who start to earn money through X and more, of course, they become more dependent on X. Just like that is the case right now on YouTube, where most creators make the most money, at least from ad revenue. So I do think we start to see more creators coming to X if they can see and hear about the opportunity to earn more money. So this would increase the competition, which also could increase the quality of the content on X, which would then of course create a ripple effect, and maybe could get more users to the platform, at least create a better user experience for the current users, and by competing with YouTube to attract more creators, and maybe also offer them, which is happening a lot right now, closing exclusive contracts with creators. It hopefully will humble YouTube a little bit to improve even more. Other consequences could be that, of course, there will be more users coming to the X platform. I'm not too sure how that would happen though, but it may happen because of popularity and people start to use it for payments and then also coming to the platform through, well, different engineering tactics. And of course, the current users spend probably more time on X. I think that is definitely likely to happen, because if you make a payment to someone or something, you're already on the platform, probably if it's within the app. But we could also see algorithm changes because they try to get more fees, which is how they would earn besides their ad revenue, which is definitely on the down right now. But definitely Elon's moat, his stickiness of the X platform could increase if he's able to succeed. I mean, just look at WeChat, right? And for creators, we could also see paid promotions within X itself, where you basically attract sponsored advertisers for your content, for a specific thread or video in the future, or even video on the TV app. And of course, the integration of this payment system between advertisers and creators. We also see Elon focusing a lot on the communities within X. If you don't know what I'm talking about, of course, they have the community tab. It's quite dominant in the app itself, and it's growing a lot according to Elon. So it will be very interesting to see how he will build X into also an insane tech tree. If you are a content creator like me and also create outside of X on Instagram, etc., you can use this short form overlay to send it to your editor or use yourself, all for free below. And if you are serious about creating content, you can also join our free community. Talk soon.